Good afternoon. Welcome back to Roberts Arena here in Wilmington, Ohio. I've replaced George Teixeira in the box. Thank you so much for letting me come in. Next to me, of course, the genius, the legend, Jeremy Jones. Good afternoon, Jeremy.
Well, thank you, Mark. And of course, everyone left is playing great, so expect another great match here between Jeremy SEAMAN of Michigan and then Jeffrey DeLuna, of course, of the Philippines. Jeffrey took a loss here last night, his first loss on this TV table, so he'll want to shore that up, but he played a great match against Kazakis in the last round, and Jeremy SEAMAN did as well, defeating, I think it was Naoki Oi, right?
Naoki Oi, yeah.
One of the hottest players the last 6-8 weeks here in the States. Now, DeLuna last night, yeah, that's what I was going to say. He started off crushing them, then he went to cutting them, and then at the end of the match, he found the break. He found that pop, and that's what we've seen here to start the match.
Yeah, and it's, well, no real problems, I suppose. Three's a little bit funny, as you would say. I'm not stealing your catchphrases or anything. But
yeah, well, it's funny just because he's got to get across for the 4. The 4-6 does not appear lined up to play, so anytime the ball's near that point, you know, that knuckle, it's hard to gain an angle and move the cue ball. He may bump the 3 here, Mark. It's not a bad play.
Yeah, and if you go past it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone wrong, though.
He did play the bump on the 3, and I think that was fairly natural. He just missed the 1, that's all.
Yeah.
So we'll get our first look at Jeremy SEAMAN, who's played a lot of great matches in this event. Took out Fortunsky last night to get into the final 16. Jeremy played real well. Fortunsky maybe didn't play the match he wanted to play, but now again, you know, like I said, you know, we can all say Yap has been the hottest player, but always been right there, you know, every event, along with a semifinalist in the U.S. Open, a finalist in the World 10 Ball, and Jeremy SEAMAN took him down this morning. So SEAMAN looking to keep that momentum going, Mark.
Yeah, and talking of Yap, of course, Mika Immonen beat him and then lost to Roberto Gomez this morning on a shootout.
Yeah, it's going to be...
This is perfect, right?
Pretty good, yeah. Not too much. He can hold the ball. Now, Jeremy, like any of the great players that, you know, when he falls in sync, he's just got a high gear. Smart player. Good with the cue ball. One thing, Jeremy, that I see is, you know, it's not something that players want to do, but he's not afraid to pull, you know, play safe, pull the trigger on a safety and let the opponent kick at it and take his chances that way instead of taking on what would be maybe a little bit of an arrogant shot or silly shot.
Yeah, I think he's aggressive when he needs to be.
Right.
But as you just said, he's got that alternative where he's not afraid to play a great safety, and his safety is very good as well.
Yeah, that's what I talked to him about the match he had with, wasn't Bourgeois, it was another Middle Eastern player that, that's going to overdraw just a touch, but shouldn't be too bad.
He's got the 9 there.
Yeah, and I think he's going to catch the 9 full enough. The problem is the 7 doesn't go by the 10, or if it does, it's very tight. Yeah, that's what he's looking at now.
I think he heard you.
Yeah. Well, just kind of going into the 9 the way you are, kind of feel like you probably can't get to the side.
He'd
for the
like
7.
to flick off it, wouldn't he, if he could?
He may fall below it off the 9 for the 7 in the upper left.
So Jeremy this year won the Midwest Invitational.
Well, he's a guy. He's a guy who's got a full-time job, so, and has had for many years, but has his parts of the year that he really gets to play a bit more, and he's been trying to do that actually the last couple of years. So
perhaps his daytime job is the reason for him playing such good safety. He's a welder, so he loves to get that ball welded to the to the ball behind.
No pun intended.
No,
right?
I'm beginning to sound like Phil Yates.
Yeah.
He loves the pun, Phil.
pretty smooth out here, though. It wasn't super difficult, but still the first game. I don't know how many matches, if any, Jeremy's played on this table.
I think it's his second.
Okay.
He played off stream one night.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So first blood then to Jeremy Seaman. So I've been doing a little bit of thinking, Jeremy, and you've got these lovely sayings that you've got. And my favourite one of yours is when you say, that's a little bit funny. And that is, in fact, an opening line to a very famous Elton John song.
Oh, okay. Which one? Because I know
your song. It's a little bit funny.
Oh, one. Yeah.
So you are my Elton Jones.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that song actually pretty well. I'm surprised it didn't pop in my head. On the road, I go through hundreds of miles, thousands of miles spells listening to one artist or another, and Elton John was definitely one of them. Yeah, Billy Joel, a lot of Billy Joel.
Oh, excellent. Piano Man.
Yeah. Well,
back to the pool.
Yeah. Well, interesting that, a topic that George and I talked about at the end of the last match is, kind of hit my head. I'm wondering, when it comes to the shootout, because momentum plays a huge swing in all pool matches, but I think possibly could play even more so in this format. Who's winning the shootout compared to which sets they win in the match, and I kind of was leaning towards maybe the guy that wins the second set may win more often because, you could easily be dejected after winning the first set and having to go into the shootout. Maybe you had some opportunities in the second set you didn't take advantage of. And, George told us, I think, on this table that we've had 8 shootouts and 7 have been won by the player who has went on to win the second set. So that's kind of interesting.
7, that's a high average, right? 7 out of 8.
Yeah, and it really leads towards momentum, right? It leans towards the guy that settles in and maybe is in a great frame of mind to get to the shootout versus just getting beat 2 sets in a row.
We were just talking about how great Jeremy's safety is. Just clipped the one ball and made it into the corner. Didn't mean to make it, and he's hooked himself now.
Yeah, and he may be happy, actually, the situation, because it looked like he was going to give up a shot on the one. So maybe better just to have this opportunity to get a little bit fortunate. All right, we're going to get a good look at DeLuna here with an open shot. Now he's got some tidy work he's got to play. The 4 doesn't pass the 6. The 10's in a bad spot to get on the short side of the 4. So even though he's got a couple, pretty easy ones to get it started, a lot of work left.
Yeah, and even to get on the combo, okay, you can get on it, but not the 4-6 combo is not ideal either.
Right.
I'd love to see the way players go about these. Now, is he going to bump into the 10?
Exactly right, Mark. Good call. I mean, it lays real natural. I like this shot. Now, the thing is, you need to use left English so you can catch the 3 a little thicker. You want to play a thick hit here to go into the 10 lightly like that. Nice shot. Good call,
well
Mark.
Controlled, right? Very nicely controlled. Slightly wrong. I think he could just run through this, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got to maybe draw this ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Not much of a pocket to run through. Yeah. They always say don't bump balls, but when it makes sense, don't go out of your way not to bump that ball.
Yeah, I think it'd have been very unlucky not to have finished on the 4, bumping into the 10. And Jeffrey's having, he hasn't had the best of seasons.
No, but it just tells you how hard it is, right? So, Jeffrey is, I think, is he 33 now? 30?
I think he's 37, actually.
37, okay.
37, yeah.
Yeah,
he's
that's right.
We
were talking about that yesterday. That's right, he's 37, but so not only how many great players his age and hovering around his age, but how many are coming up. So don't think the seasons are going to get easier for any of these players. It's only going to get tougher.
Yeah, lots of young talent coming through, which we'd like to speak about a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
During the next little break. We are going for a break now. We'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Wilmington in Ohio and the CSI Predator US Pro Billiard Series stop number 4. I'm very, very privileged to share the booth with Jeremy Jones. You join us 1-1, DeLuna against the local boy, SEAMAN.
Yeah, and I think if DeLuna sticks to that pop about 70%, I think he's going to like it. And there, the ball goes down in the side. The 10 kind of threatened. He's going to get beautiful on the 1. It appears the 4 goes by the 7 in the side. Should be a 2-1 lead here shortly for Jeffrey DeLuna if he can maintain.
Everything in the DeLuna garden is looking very rosy at the moment.
That's right. And I'll tell you, it's gone to where, in my opinion, the standard 10-ball break from out in the center of the table is the way to go on this table, at least. I haven't got to watch all the breaks on the outer tables, but to win this tournament, you're going to have to do it right here.
Yeah, because we're at the quarterfinal stage now, of course, and both semi-finals and the final will be played on this table.
That's right. That'll be 5, 6:30, and 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock for the climax.
Who's going to be there, Jeremy?
Well, I tell you.
I know who you're rooting for. He's playing at the moment on an outside table against another person that's impressed you recently.
Yeah, Roberto Gomez is he's playing great.
And
and
Daniel Snyder.
Daniel Snyder playing great. You got another American here in Jeremy SEAMAN, playing the underdog role a little bit here in this tournament, but has played a lot of solid matches. Somewhat local favorite, even though Michigan and Ohio don't get along that great. It's kind of like a Texas Oklahoma thing, but
that could be a good final.
Yeah, right. They're actually going to have a team match between the two states. It's their second annual coming up shortly.
I'm not going to mention the M word, like a local cup.
Yeah, right.
I told you, I promised I wouldn't mention that again, and I won't. So.
Well, that's all right. It's going to be mentioned a lot the next,
it's getting
45,
closer.
50 days. Yeah.
The countdown is on, and the countdown says it's 2-1 now to Jeffrey DeLuna over the local boy, as you call him, Jeremy SEAMAN. So, what have you thought about this tournament over the past few days? I've loved the quality. I've loved the venue. The venue's great.
Yeah, I've loved the venue, and it seems like anything. The players at first, to me, when I looked at them, knowing them, could have seemed a little fatigued, maybe just because of some weeks of play and some travel around the states, and I know all the Euros are doing all the little extras they can when they can. Maybe a little sightseeing. But as the days went, I saw the guys regroup, and I've just pretty much played top shelf pool overall.
So here we go then with some top shelf pool right on this table right here, right now. If you want any information on the brackets or anything, go to www.playcsipool.com and you get the brackets, the players, everything you need to know, the live stream.
And you can also see what's in the future for CSI and a lot of professional tournaments. But again, that pop is really getting spreads. Look at everything's a foot apart, 2 feet apart.
Yeah.
He's got a 1 ball. He's going to play 2 to rail and off the 9 in the corner. Don't think he'll play the 1-9 combo.
No.
Just got to stop his ball for the 3, really.
That's the short shot I would play.
Yeah, and really hard to miss this. The only way to really miss it, of course you got to miss your target a ways, is kind of baby it and let him double kiss or something like that. It will ricochet off the 1.
Yeah, doesn't want to tie the 9 and the 8 up. He's okay, I think. Yeah, it's fine.
No, he's great. Simply 2 rails towards the 4, get nice and heavy on the 4. No reason to take a chance on missing it with the 5 near the side. There's a lot of them. I'm sorry, Mark.
No, carry on.
There's a lot of players with, I always use the word upside, just such a huge potential and no telling where the ceiling really stops. But, You know, for many years, a lot of players considered Jeffrey maybe with the highest upside. You know, straight shooter, a lot of power. Just a guy that is, you know, I'll be honest, still maturing, I think, as a player. And the great thing about Jeffrey is, man, say that at 37, and he stays healthy, though. He's a very fit man. You would never guess 37, but I think he's still got a lot of bright things ahead of him.
I'm very jealous of his hair as well. His hair sticks up even more than mine.
Yeah, I know. I was wondering if you were trying to keep up with someone around here.
Well, I am, but I'm failing miserably on all counts.
He's got a little better foundation up top than you do, Mark. That's just all.
He's got more money than me.
Yeah, right?
All the top products.
All right, beautiful stroke there.
And sometimes he has been accused sometimes of playing a bit too hard, a little on the specific.
Yeah, you know, a term we say in the pool room, a little Hollywood here and there, you know.
Exactly, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that he's dealt with, you know. I mean, that's not a, you know, that's not like an every time thing be conscious of. It's just kind of like something he's done for a long time, and he's going to have to battle himself out of it, you know.
You know, certainly a lot of snooker players went through it in the past. Hurricane Higgins, Ronnie O'Sullivan went through it to a certain extent. Right. Where he was all about pleasing the crowd, but they realised this doesn't win me tournaments, this doesn't win me money, so they have to find a safety game. They have to tone everything down a little bit and play the right shots rather than the, as you just said it, the Hollywood shots. There we see Jeremy Seaman deep in thought.
Yeah, and he's going to be deep in thought after a little mistake in game 2 and really hasn't got much opportunity since. But, you know, I kind of relate it to a lot of things. I think Ronnie, as genius as he is, he probably realized he's entertaining them fans with the dominance, you know, that he can have and has had. And kind of like the Moscone Cup, I preach to the guys that, hey, you don't have to go out there looking for the great shot. You're going to have to make great shots. You know, that's just simply all there is to it. You know, you don't have to go out there
looking for them.
Yeah, looking for them. That and, you know, you do your job. And like the celebration, you don't. That's where I was going next. You don't have to go out there trying to be energized. It's going to happen at the Moscone Cup. So stick to what you do as much as you can. And that's kind of what Jeffrey's, I think, battling with. And I think it's just been his personality. You know, it's nothing. I don't think he goes out of his way to be a little Hollywood here and there. But you know, he's always a sharp-dressed guy, the spiky hair, the big stroke. It kind of matches up with being a little bit flamboyant at times.
He's a nice guy around the arena with the fans as well. I've seen lots of people taking pictures with him and signing autographs. I think they're all good like that around these. And, of course, we've got this other huge event going on at the moment. I mean, the place is just buzzing, isn't it?
Yeah, the parking lot was amazing whenever I drove over. And, you know, I think even more so, and nothing to take away from the era that I kind of started with, and I know and I love all them guys, but I think even more so the players these days are even more humble and appreciative of what they have to offer in the game and what the game has to offer them.
Would it be fair to say it's getting a bit more professional? I don't mean that in a derogatory. You know, you mentioned how fit the players are now. They're all got
it's definitely more athletic. Yeah, 100%. And that's just a numbers game. You know, once you involve more numbers, players are going to see other players doing things a certain way, and they're going to see wins behind it. So you're going to get, you know, we get information from the other players without them even knowing it. You know, some consciously give you information, your buddy, your road buddy, your roommate, whatever it is, your countryman, right? But don't think that I haven't stolen a thing from almost every one of these players at one time or another. Now, maybe I didn't compensate them for it, but hey, that's just part of it.
That's all part of the learning, isn't it? I mean, we're all learning all the time off. No matter how good you ever are, there's always something little that you might pick up. Yeah,
and then, you know, you find somebody that you trust that is going to be constructive with you and where you trust that what they're not only saying to be true, but you know they're not trying to be demeaning or anything like that. You know, they're not trying to knock you down, just build you up. And now Jeffrey DeLuna with pretty much passed the first game, a flawless first set.
Yeah, and he's really dominated this as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, it was the safety that was missed when he pocketed the one, Seaman. So.
And it goes 1-0. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to Roberts Arena, CSI Predators US Pro Billiard Series, stop number 4. And it's 1-0 to Jeff DeLuna over the local boy, Jeremy Seaman. But Jeremy is breaking off in the second set to another Jeremy Jones.
Yeah, we lost another Jeremy in the tournament. He lost in a shootout, Jeremy Sose to Mario He. And I'll tell you, one of the quicker sets there, the first one we've had, the first set there, and really pretty flawless from both players. Just that safety where Jeremy pocketed the one on accident, that kind of turned things around. And man, he'd like to go for this cut shot, and I'm not saying he won't, but a lot of traffic there. I don't know if he cuts the one. It looks like he beats the 7.
Yeah.
Maybe goes above the 10 and maybe 4 rails around, something like that. A soft 4 rails. I don't think he can hit it light and beat the 7. He's got to make the cue ball ricochet a little bit off the one. Is he spinning this with low outside, trying to go around the 6? Watch out, cue ball. It's tracking towards that corner.
As well. He's missed the 1 ball, and the cue ball, where is it? It's in the pocket.
Yeah.
We were talking yesterday about one of your favourite commentators was Sid Waddell.
That's right.
And I was looking up some of his great sayings after I commentated with him the other day. And one of my favourites that he's ever said was it was during a darts match, but he, in his lovely Geordie accent, his northeast accent, he once said, he's sweating like a hippo in a power shower.
Well, just his energy to me. Wow, this is an interesting shot here. I'm surprised he didn't come down the table. That was dangerous right there, right?
It was brave.
Well, the left side of the table, very clear to get a little below the 4, just get above the 5 a little bit, and the 2 plays easily. So, these players, though, it's hard to doubt them sometimes. They're at the table and see things sometimes that we don't. But still an interesting shot to draw your ball with low outside to spin off the rail into a gap there. Yeah.
Feeling confident.
Yeah.
After that first set. does get through the ball nicely. I know we were talking about that last night, about getting through the ball, and he's one of those players that does. He's got that kind of nice.
Well, he's a, 70% of the shots or something like that. Jeffrey, he's same technique as I have, or a lot of players that people don't realize. He actually lets the cue go. He actually throws the cue and then regrips it as he comes through. So momentum is created, and that's what creates the let go of the cue, and that's why you see a good follow through. Very similar to like a Niels Fayen who throws the cue, Jason Klatt. Actually, Feder Gorst throws the cue on some shots. And a lot of guys aren't even conscious of it, Mark. It's just something that...
Natural.
Yeah. I didn't know I did it the first 5 years I played. A friend of mine told me that. Actually, he told me two things. One thing that you and I talked about last night. He said, you look at the cue ball last, Jeremy, and you throw the cue. So maybe two differences there.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that subject with you in the booth next to me.
Right. Well, Jeffrey did Luna doing a lot of what he did in the first set. Very clean, running out. And we're going to carry on into game number 2 here.
Yeah, 5 racks without loss now. I believe Jeremy won the first.
That's right.
First rack. So looking around the arena now as we've got Roberto Gomez at the table. We've got Mario He having a little practice. He's just knocked out your fellow countryman Jeremy Sosay. And very interestingly, we were talking yesterday about how many great players from Poland there are, or from Poland, as I've renamed it. We've lost them all.
Yeah.
They've all gone in one night. They all went down.
Yeah, that was late last night. Yeah, and that's going to happen. That's just how it is. And I'll tell you what this format does for me, and it really can advance the guys that are a little underdog mentally. And what I mean by that is, you're going to win races to 4 as an underdog. And once you start getting that taste that I can get across the finish line against a little of these better players, well, now we all know how mental our game is anyways. So you're going to see more and more upsets, I think, not only in this format, but probably even some stretched out races.
Yeah, this is going to be the springboard for others.
Yeah, good way to put it. And
there's that break as well.
Yeah,
and he's made a ball again. How are they lying, Jeremy?
They're lying pretty well. The 3's a little funny, but the 4's near. So that means he can take on that small angle into the side because he really doesn't have to move the cue ball much. So I think he's going to run out again, and really Jeffrey's talent really being displayed here on the break. We've seen a lot of good breaks from that center pop, but probably none as attractive and good looking as these. Like looks like, oh, okay, yeah, that's exactly how he wanted to hit him.
That's how he's meaning it. Yeah.
Right. Well, you'd be amazed what kind of handicap Jeffrey gives up in the pool room to some really great players in a winter break format playing 10-ball, because the spot just doesn't mean much to him once he starts to break the balls well. It's almost like a gaff. It's almost like a carnival game. Okay, he wants to get nice and close to this if he's going to play it in the side. Yeah. I like playing it in the side myself.
And do you want to be straight in on the 3, or do you want an angle to come off the right? Oh, he's a long way away.
I would have liked to have been straight, and I think he's too far away to shoot it now. Unless he really wants to just drag this ball in. I think he's going to play safe.
It's an easy safe, isn't there?
Yeah.
He's not playing it down the end, surely. No, it doesn't go, does it?
No, he just wants to get it past the 10 and then back up on the 6 with the cue ball.
Doesn't want to catch that titty or the knuckle or the nipple or whatever you want to call it.
There's a few words for it, and Jeremy's really cut off here. The 5 has got the 2-rail kick shot cut off. Jeffrey's incredible cue ball control has got the 1-rail kick cut off. The 3-rail kicks cut off. He may be able to go 2 rails around the 5, but it doesn't look like it's laying right to me. He may have to play some type of masse here. Is there a way to tie a ball up? Not really. Yeah, the 5's dead in the way to me.
Dead in the way.
Yeah.
There's that hair, look. looking great. He's looking very confident, looking bullish as well.
Yeah, well, he had
focused.
A nice win against Kazakis in the first round. Didn't have to go to the shootout. And the more I look at it, he may be able to get to that third rail and chop the 3 in off of this. Like this right here.
Yeah.
The third rail. Nice hit there.
Oh, that's
very well controlled.
Shot. If I was in the audience, I'd be clapping as well. That was a terrific shot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. And I talk about it all the time. I think he did well because he didn't try to blast the kick. You know, you lose so much accuracy when you, yeah, exactly. You still have a lot of good things that can happen when you kick lightly, even though you're kicking to an open space.
I think some players tend to kick a bit harder because they're not sure exactly where they're going to hit, but that was completely controlled. He knew where he was going to hit, and he played it at perfect pace as well.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
wow, what a roll there.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, that was cold there.
Wow.
And so an obvious...
well, it was a shot like that that cost Jeremy in the
yeah,
second
you're exactly right.
Can it be a turning point in the match again?
Yeah. One thing for Jeremy, though, it looked like, or at least for Jeffrey, rather, Jeffrey did exactly what he wanted to do with the cue ball, and that ball fluked in, where Jeremy kind of didn't hit the ball how he wanted, and that's why the cue ball was open along with the object ball.
Yeah, there you hear the shot clock going off. Just to remind viewers, there is a 30-second shot clock, which actually caught out Jeffrey DeLuna last night in the shootout. He didn't realise that there was the shot clock in operation during the shootout as well.
Yeah.
And he almost missed his first one because it caught him by surprise.
Now this one should be light as well, not, oh, see, wow, he went hard. Wow, look at this.
A bit of love, as Billy Thorpe would say as well.
And he's got to play a combination. So really the first open shot he's had to pocket a ball since game number 2 in the first set. And the thing is, you can't just turn it loose here. He doesn't want to slow roll it like really light, but he's may get away with like a medium speed. Nice shot.
You fancy him to get that, don't you? It was one of those nice ones. If you didn't have to be right behind that one because it was just a normal pop to the corner pocket, really.
Right. He could hit that 5 a few different ways and still make it.
Yeah. So now he's out from here, I would think. So 1-1 and the break.
Yeah, and interesting how you pointed out, you caught that it was a similar situation in set number 1 that really got Jeffrey going. Now we'll see if Jeremy can return the favor. And it looks like Daniel Schneider has beaten Mora. So Daniel Schneider now on to play Mario He, and Daniel Schneider just keeps on plugging.
Wow. And I'll tell you, I said at the beginning of the week and at the end of the last one in Battle Creek, he's a man determined. He's on a mission. He's putting in, he's always the first one here, or generally the first one here. Always comes back after his matches to practice as well.
Oh, beautiful stroke, real clean there.
Hitting the ball well now.
Yeah, you can hear those strikes of the cue ball when they're proper, right?
Sound gorgeous. That's the word I use. And in it goes. We'll be back after the break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and we were just talking before the break, Jeremy, about how one shot changed this match in DeLuna's favour, and now it looks like one has changed the match in Jeremy's favour.
Well, at least for that game, he's got to get the break going, though. He can see his opponent has the break going, and
those wing balls are going.
Yeah, watch out for the 5 ball coming up. I think he's all right. He's made 2 on the break. He's got to love that. A little thin on the 1, but not a problem. Only thing he has to worry about here is that 5 ball, maybe covering up the 3 if he comes down table with the cue ball. Now, can he ease it enough, Mark, to hold on the short side of the 5?
I think.
With a little inside spin, maybe?
Yeah, I'm going inside here with this.
Okay, nice. And he kept enough angle on the 3 to be able to go back and forth fairly easily.
Yeah, got to judge the pace of this well, hasn't he? Coming back across if he does. Is he going across twice, you think?
He's got to, I think. Now with the 5 there, I don't see him missing, right? But when you overhit this, believe it or not, you may not get as much carry on the cue ball, you know.
It sort of stuns off the
Yeah,
rail.
it kind of like doesn't do much for you off that first rail. You almost have to trust just barely coasting past the 5 like he did. I know it's a nervy thing to have to do that. It doesn't sit well with you all the time, but it's definitely the right way. Now he's going to come back for the 5 in the side, I think, just so he can let the stroke out. He doesn't have to hit like an in-between stroke here on the 4. And there's nothing wrong with that, and the reason why is the 6 is hanging. He can get on the 5 in the side and not have to work the cue ball. I like that option right there, be able to hit shoot the 4 in with a little authority.
Good call. Well, gone a little bit further than he would have liked, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's happy the way he struck the ball, though. You know, it means a lot, right? Get that good feeling.
Yeah, that's all that matters when I'm playing. I know I'm playing well. I think I can put anything when my stroke's right.
Right. I like rail first right here. The thing about this one is you got to smooth it. So if you smooth it, it should come back off that rail and get around the 7, no problem.
Coming round for the 7 into the bottom right-hand corner as we look.
Yeah.
Come between rail and the 7.
Yeah, if you overhit it a touch, it could hug a little and maybe come off that second rail and maybe go into the 7. We'll see. He could play ball first on the edge of it and go towards the 9. I think rail first is definitely the easier of the 2 shots myself, but he played ball first, going towards that 9, and that's what I was saying, a little more subtle that way, a little more touchy.
Yeah.
But he came away okay. If he'd have gotten jacked up over that 9, boy, that 7 would be a tough shot. But here he should be able to kill this 2 rails with inside English, just coming above the 9 a little bit.
He wants to get that cue ball under control totally. He hasn't really had it yet.
Did he overcut it? Oh my.
Oh, and that he just never looked comfortable during that run. Even from the 1, you know, then got on the 3, had to play twice across.
Right.
Then overhit the 4, struck it well, but overhit it. Left himself a little bit Elton on the 5. I'm going to call it Elton from now on, a little bit funny.
Yeah, I'm very surprised again, though, he didn't play the rail first shot. I've been around Jeremy, you know, quite a bit the last year and a half or so at times and watched him play. Actually made a few wagers on him here and there, and not afraid to play that rail first shot, uses it a lot. So I wonder if he just maybe got a little worried about it, but now DeLuna in a great position to take another lead.
Yeah, it's worrying times now for Jeremy SEAMAN. I mean, he had a chance there, never really looked comfortable. Jeff DeLuna looking more and more comfortable, and that'll give him, he's got away with one there because hooked himself, got out of it, but left Jeremy a great chance in the last to get a little bit of momentum, and it just never really happened for him.
Yeah, and the big worry is what Jeffrey's break has looked like here in this match. I think, you know, he expects Jeffrey to get out, you know, just like Jeremy expects himself to get out, but he may not get out of his chair. That's the problem, just like in the first set.
Yeah, is winner break format, just to let you guys know. Race to 4, 2 sets, and then if we are lucky enough to go 1 set each, we'll go to that very exciting shootout. And we've had plenty of them. I've been walking around the arena. I've seen lots and lots of them. You've seen 8 yourself, you said, I think, on the actual stream table. And they really do get. I mean, I stood there watching a couple with you last night when late.
Oh,
at night,
you know, yeah.
And they're great to watch, aren't they? But you don't want to be involved in them, but you love watching them.
Well, like I was talking to Shark Syed last night as we were watching Aloysius, and there were plenty of shootouts in the outer tables to really get these guys into this final day, a lot of them. But, you know, Shark said, man, I really enjoy the shootout, but then at the same time, you know, it can turn on you quickly, the nerves and, you know, in the way of losing the match that way. But
so 1 inside, 3 in the corner.
And I'll tell you one thing that may help Jeremy here is Jeffrey being left-handed, very difficult to cue, but if he feels comfortable, he's going to attack here, I think. Just a matter of getting at that, you know, if he can reach it being left-handed.
I saw a shot he played last night. It was, I'm not sure if it was on stream or not, when he was playing a jump shot and he lifted his leg up and almost had his knee in the side pocket.
He does that a lot. Yeah. The position he gets in after the break, actually, once he jumps in the air. So I think he takes this on. If the 2 goes by the 5 in the side, he comes down on the left side of the 8. Just maybe a hair of outside English along with a little top. Tracking the cue ball 1, 2, 3 rails towards the spot, maybe.
You called it. You've called it.
Yeah.
And then it goes.
Yeah, and now he's got the 2 in the corner if the 2 in the side is a little tight. And if it's anything kind of tight to me, and actually holding position tells me the corner's probably better. Unless he can really roll this ball, I guess, maybe. Maybe he can draw and hold the cue ball.
I like drawing it. I like to still play the stroke rather than a little dolly, can cause a little bit of deceleration.
Well, the one thing about this side pocket, right, is when you're not having an entire pocket and you want to draw it, it makes you want to hit the ball a little more full when you're drawing. So easy to catch the 5 going into the pocket with the 2 ball. But Jeffrey seems pretty calm to me. Seems pretty darn good. Watch out. Oh, my.
Oh, where's the cue ball?
He went between those balls. He was trying to hit the 10. Wow.
Looking now, how did I get through there, he asks.
Yeah, pretty hard to do.
Well, now then, you've got to think this is his real big chance now. If he doesn't take this.
Yeah, I think that was a few things, a little bit of the pool gods helping Jeremy there a little bit, because that's 2 mistakes you could call them by Jeffrey. But the thing is, he hit both shots how he wanted. When he fluked the 3 in and planted the cue ball behind the 10, and then right there he couldn't imagine drawing between the 7-10. Oh, if he got on the wrong side of this, he's going to have to work the ball up the table and then back down.
Jeffrey can't believe it, talking to himself. What did I do? How did I go through that gap?
Yeah, crazy. All right, looks like he goes by the 10 and then back down the left side pretty easily.
A little touch of left on this, is he playing?
Yeah.
No, just straight forward.
Looks pretty nice.
Saw the cue ball arc then, very nicely played. Shows you cued it well. So, the man that works for a living, as he says. Being a pool player is tough work as well, though, isn't it, Jeremy? You know all about that.
Yeah, if you're taking it seriously, you're spending a lot of time, you know, training and practicing, and of course, doing a number of other things that's involved to be a professional player, but away from the table. But yeah, you're spending a lot of time.
Okay, so Jeremy on a comeback 2-2. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to this quarter-final match between Jeremy Seaman, the local lad from Battle Creek in Michigan, against the man from Manila, Jeffrey DeLuna. 2-2, second set. DeLuna won the first set. So how's the break gone, Jeremy?
Well, he got a few kisses on the cue ball. I know that was alarming to him, but it looks like he may have ended up with a shot. He may jump this if not. The 2's a little funny, but if he does have a shot, the cue ball's coming this way. So if he could get on that 2 in the side or the 2 by the 9 up in the corner, I just think this 8 ball may have gotten him a little bit.
Can he not just spin it round the edge?
Maybe. You're not going to get much speed on it that way, though, to come down.
No.
He'll have to play a 2-6 combo. Now he's called the bank shot. So the thing is, the 2-6 combo isn't that bad.
No.
Definitely playing the bank just so he can do a little something with the cue ball mark.
Just stun down between the 10 and the
maybe
8.
Follow by the 10 here to come down lower. Talked about that yesterday. You know, with the slick felt, unless you hit it at a much slower speed, the left English really doesn't grab on the object ball and really throw that ball back towards the hole in a lot of banks. Saw it yesterday on a couple of cross corners where we just kind of knew that it was going to hit a little high. And that's just Jeremy having the experience on the slick table.
Yeah, a lot of people watching may not understand the new cloth and the new rail concept, but it really does make a huge difference. And a lot of the time, you know, I used to listen in commentary years ago, and I used to think, well, what do they mean? You know, it's a table, it's got cloth on it, it's got rails, it's got the same balls. What's the difference? Yeah. But it really does make so much. It's almost like I liken it to like a skating rink kind of thing, and the rails sliding.
Bowling alley lane,
yeah,
you know. So I'll tell you some funny stories about that when I was on the road. It's amazing what one lane to another means. I was in Nashville and I bet on a guy. He said, I'm probably going to lose here getting 10 pins from this guy, but bet on me. I said, okay. He said, because when we go to my bowling alley, I'm going to give him 10 pins. And that's crazy, and that's exactly how it went. The lane, from lane to lane, made that much of a difference with the oil and knowing it and everything else. But it's the same thing here with the he's tied up the 5 a little bit, so he's going to have to get short side.
He didn't lose his hand, did he, like in Kingpin?
Yeah, right? No, not at all. But yeah, the slick felt means a lot. You actually, like the Moscone, for instance, with a little more heat on the table, it becomes even more extreme. To where, he's gotten dead jacked up, so he's got to make a tester here down the rail on the 5.
The only saving grace, nothing to do really to get on the 6, and he might even get him hooked if he misses it, right? Yeah,
you have to miss it badly, I think. I don't think he'll put that much on it. Oh, beauty.
Wow, what a stroke that was.
Beauty. This may have gotten him just a hair, though. I think it did. I think it got him just a hair. And a lot of people say, why don't you play the subtle swerve? Well, that's another thing that's a little different on the slick felt, where it breaks, where it curves back. So I like him playing the jump shot here versus the swerve. Didn't deserve this hook, though. He hit that ball really well.
He's certainly going through the repertoire of shots here. And even managed to draw it back perfect for the 7 in the side, but he's missed the 6. Now then.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
the welder needs to turn up the heat.
Yeah, I think he's okay. I don't think he really hits much going. I think he goes by the 10 between the 10-8 back for the 7. The 8 has both pockets, so he can really evaluate on the 7 how he wants to get on the 8.
He's just strolling around the table like it's a walk in the park on a Saturday afternoon.
I'll tell you, Jeffrey has not gotten much love in this set here. How great did he hit that 5 ball to get just barely hooked on the 6? So, he's drawing this. That's surprising. A nice cue ball there.
Wow, lovely, beautiful.
Yeah, really like ball in hand. He can come to the right side of the 8, our right side. He's got just enough angle to be able to stun just to the rail. Lay on the middle diamond, maybe, something like that.
Somewhere about there.
Yeah.
I'm learning as well, sitting here.
And the thing is, Jeffrey took full advantage in set number 1 of a little bit of a bad luck roll for Jeremy, and Jeremy's got to return the favor.
Yeah, and he's breaking well as well. The breaks that we've seen Jeremy, he's been okay.
Sure.
Making balls. So this then, to go 3-2 ahead, we could be going for one of them shootouts. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. When we're not going anywhere, because we're going to stay and just have a little chat while referee John Lehman. Now, John Lehman had a little bit of a fall the other day. He slipped over and hurt his knee.
Yeah,
and he's been a bit of a trooper, you know.
Yeah, twisted his knee a little bit.
Yeah.
I've done that before, and it's not any fun, that's for sure. Usually, you know, you kind of, as you go, you walk it off. It gets a little heated up. It gets feeling a little better. Hopefully that's the case for John here today.
Need to get him running around the tables more.
Yeah, right. Well, he's been on the move, so.
Yeah, referees really do deserve a lot more credit than they get. You know, they stand in the middle, and you know, you have to remember that they have got to concentrate twice as hard, because they've got to concentrate on every single shot. Whereas if you're sat in the chair while your opponent, you don't have to. You know, you're not concentrating so much. You still might be focused, of course.
Well, the thing is, there's no real winning situation for the referees. You know, it's either, you know, all right, do your job like you're supposed to. If there's something that comes up, it's never like that much praise, you might say, for doing such a great job. It's always going to be almost like, oh, what happened there? What was he thinking? Or maybe a rack situation or whatever. So kind of taken for granted, you might say, right?
I wouldn't want to be a referee.
Oh, he hit those sweet. Is he going to get anything down off of it?
Oh, almost got the cue ball down.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Jeffrey's in a good spot. He rolls forward here to take the 2 on, and that leaves him a nice back and forth angle to get on the 3. He may go 3 rails off the 2 to get to the 3. That's kind of up to him. We can see the real work in the rack is the 5, right?
Yeah, but the 6 here, play it into this bottom corner, just stun out for the 6 maybe when we get there.
Yeah, but he's got to have it, you know, he may have to shoot the 4 and stop and take a little more cut on the 5. We'll see. I like going back and forth here. Some like 3 rails. It's just kind of preference.
He's spinning it round, is he?
Yeah.
Seems to be the Filipino way, that high right. They love playing that round.
Yeah, well, like I was raised in Houston, very humid conditions for the U.S. now. It's not quite as humid as Manila. But what happens when you're raised in those kind of conditions, you learn to use the follow routes a lot, because it's hard to draw the ball in humid conditions. So not saying it does 2 things. It builds a heck of a stroke, because you have to be able to learn to stroke the ball very well to move the cue ball. But it also teaches you patterns, because you stay away from draw sometimes, you know, because it is difficult in the humidity. And this is what I was talking about earlier. He may get straight on the 4 where he has to take a bit more of a cut on the 5.
So you just stop the cue ball here as soon as you can?
And, you know, he may have a little angle, but what I said the other day is, if these guys had a caddy, right, the one thing that if I was a caddy is I would be reminding these guys how great they are. Like, don't go out of your way to get a little bit better on a ball. You know, like if Jeffrey stops here, he's making that 5 90 times out of 100 at least, probably. So it's really whenever you try to get a lot better on a ball that's like not needed that you can get in trouble.
And he did try it, and he's played it well by the looks of it, has he?
Yeah. And now we got to gamble each rack. A lot of racks you have to take chances. It's just a matter of, you know, when you really have to take that chance is when you want to take it, not necessarily when you don't. Did he come out enough? I think he did.
Can he just draw this straight back? Maybe pinch a little bit?
Yeah, he's fine.
Oh, yeah,
got such an effortless draw stroke. Wow. But watch the backhand here. Watch the backhand if you can. See, he let the cue go. You see that? It starts
back,
out here.
Opens the grip and then grips it on the way through again.
Well, what happens on the descent down, he stops the hand, but the cue keeps going. And then he grabs it again. Efren Reyes played that way. Dennis Okulo played that way for many years. Jesus Atencio, there's a lot of guys that do it. The Coe brothers.
Yeah, so I wish Jesus Asencio had been here this tournament. I love that guy around the arena. Terrific player for the future.
Yeah, and a great guy, and I'm surprised he wasn't, to be honest with you.
If you're watching, Jesus, we miss you.
All right. If he gets this in, we're going to move on to this Hill game.
And it goes. So 3-3. Jeff with the break. It's all about this break now.
Yeah, and Jeremy, and on the cooker for the moment, anyways. He's a calm and cool, collected guy, though. He recognizes and realizes how matches go. He's just going to wait for his opportunity.
Just give the guys at Fargorate a shout out. Met Mike Page yesterday, one of the founders of it. Steve's not here, but Mark is. And it is the Fargorate Ohio Open. Talking of Fargo's, 798, Jeff DeLuna, and 762, Jeremy SEAMAN.
Yeah, tough competitor, and a I wouldn't say very, but you can say a part-time player for sure.
And it's got to be hard for the, you've got to weigh up. I'm not earning enough money at pool. Can I earn enough money at pool if I give up my job? I've got a family to keep.
Yeah.
Then you don't have enough time to practice with a full-time. It's a tough life, right? Whichever way you do it.
Yeah, and it's the good thing is I think those decisions will be easily or more easily made in the future because the pool scene is coming around on the professional side much better. I think there's a lot of groups that are trying to do good things.
Yeah. You're seeing a lot more podcasts pop up, more streams popping up everywhere around, more tournaments, of course.
All right, taking dead aim on this break here. Oh, nice pop. I don't know what's going to happen, but super nice pop.
In goes the 8, does it? 8 made it in the corner. Look at the 6-9 though. Eyes straight away go to that one, Jeremy. And the one ball, of course. No shot on the one.
Jeffrey very happy to see that 6-9 the way it is now. If he had an open shot at the one, he'd hate it. But now that he doesn't have an open shot at the one, he loves the 6-9 being grouped on that side rail.
So where are you going to push to?
Well, you get a little more freedom knowing the 6-9 is very bad. Meaning it gives you a little bit more option. You don't have to roll out like brutally tough. You want to roll out tough, don't get me wrong. But you don't want to take a huge chance like giving up ball in hand or something like that off of some type of tough decision or tough shot here on the rollout. Like here, this looks brutal to me. Is he going to call the one? Yeah, he should call the one in that corner. Now watch out for the cue ball tracking towards that corner where the 4's at. If he hits it smooth, he should be okay, but it will go that way. Oh, he caught it thin. He's going to need some help here.
Has he got it behind the 7? Is he going to get behind the 7?
No, it doesn't appear so. We may have a tactical game here for a few shots, and we always say it hill. Now, this isn't hill for the entire match. We may go into a shootout, but we always said it never seems like there's a break and run in the hill matches for some reason. There's always a situation that comes up.
I like playing this into the 6-9, this 2-1 ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I thought that was pretty smart there. Keeping it simple, knowing the 6-9 is a little funny. Yeah. Now, he wanted the one to get up the rail a little higher. That's for sure, but I think a pretty smart shot there by Jeremy. He was trying to get the cue ball course on this opposite side rail, but
he's going to take this on though, surely, right?
He may be banking it around and drawing up underneath the 6-9.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't a little more aggressive drawing into the 6 myself.
Open him up a little bit.
Yeah, because this 1-4 is a makeable jump combo. Let's
see how he is with the jump stick. Haven't seen it out. I don't think for Jeremy in this particular match. I don't remember seeing one. Oh, nearly made it. As you said, 4 went very, very close, Jeremy.
Well, Jeffrey's got a great draw stroke. I think he can beat drawing past the 3. I think he can. I wouldn't fool with the 6-9. He pointed his finger over there at the 6-9 like he was going to follow his ball and take a chance maybe opening those balls. And there's
maybe if the 10 wasn't there, you
that's
might
what
risk
exactly
it.
what I was going to say. Good call, Mark. I like the draw though. I don't take no chance here myself.
He has.
Wow, and it escaped.
And he's just made it past that 10.
Yeah.
That did come into play.
Well, you know, in Jeffrey's defense, which I would say there's a ton of it, but in Jeffrey's defense, he's played a lot of great shots that were supposed to be very risk-free and gotten kind of screwed on it, pardon my language, but now he took a chance. He decided he'll, and I know, oh my.
Say screwed, that means draw back.
Yeah, there you go. Well, a surprising miss there, though.
What a chance this is for Jeremy now then. He has to take this chance, you think.
Yeah. John Lehman's got to really pay attention here. If the 4 wasn't there, no chance of catching the 7, right? But now that the 4 is there
it's
next to it,
you that
yeah,
way,
exactly, yeah. So a little bit more of a chance of catching a piece of that 7 coming in. Oh, he's going for a jump cue. That's how the 4's got him.
Wow.
Wow, this is a very odd jump. So this should be one to where he hits before the 4 and then bounces again over the 4, right? If he tries to jump all the way past the 4, I don't think any way he can keep stuff on the table. Watch the cue ball. See if it bounces before the 4 and then again over the 4. Yeah, like that.
Wow.
What a shot.
What a call as well. Absolutely brilliant shot. Now then, maybe, I'll tell you what impressed me more about that shot, the quickness with which John Lehman got out of his chair and rushed over to check that shot out.
Well, John's on it. And man, a surprising miss there from Jeffrey after, taking a big chance on the 1 ball and escaping with the cue ball. But, all right, just 1 rail across here. Get to the center. Oh, he's playing from underneath. Oh, kind of squeaked that one home there, Mark.
Yeah, there's
Grady Matthews used to say
times, huh?
it rubbed its feet on the way in.
We say it went in cleanly because it wiped its feet.
It's wiped its feet. Yeah, that's actually the correct way.
Is it?
Wiped its feet, yeah.
I like drawing this side rail.
And he doesn't want to have to play he got too much. He got too much. So he's going to have to get a little fortunate here because he didn't want to have to play a 6-7. So he was really trying to make sure he got that angle to fall on the good side of the 6. And now, can he knock the 6 away?
I think he can run into the 6 here.
Yeah. Is he going to go back and forth to short side on the 6 with a hair of top right? Yeah, like that. Beautiful strike.
What a shot. Absolutely perfect. And the pocket's full up.
Well, he doesn't have a extension left any longer.
We don't want to catch you, do we? Do you remember that in I think it was the World Pool Masters, I believe, when Catchy played the 4 and all of a sudden it popped back out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my. I didn't need much, but I thought he wanted a hair more than that on the draw stroke.
And if this does go to a shootout, I've got a lovely little story to tell you, actually, about balls popping out of pockets. If we get the chance, that is.
Well, we're going to get that chance. I don't see really any problems from here.
So we are going to be going to a shootout. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back with that shootout very soon. Welcome back to the shootout. And as you can see on your screens, we have 4 innings. How many? Go on, you go ahead and explain this.
Yeah, well,
Jeremy.
it's 4 innings. You can see on the left graphic, the player shoots from behind the head string. Whoever wins the lag has the choice to go first and choose which side. So it's like a shootout in maybe hockey. You have 4 innings. After 4 innings, whoever has the best record will win the match. If they're tied, they'll back the cue ball up a diamond.
Wow.
Mark, and then it'll go sudden death,
Ooh.
shot for shot. So that we've seen different variations on how to shoot it. DeLuna usually fires it with a little draw like that. Wow, what a shot.
Yeah, and the shot clock again, just to remind everyone, the shot clock does still exist in the shootout, and it caught out Jeffrey DeLuna last night on the first shot. He was expecting it this time, so it didn't put him off. 1-0 DeLuna.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me that he even gets to the point of the beeps here with the shootout. I mean, that would be, there's already a lot of pressure. That would be something I'm trying to avoid is the clock going off while I'm, delivering the cue. Now you're going to see a different way to shoot it, I think, from Jeremy here. Much more of a top English, I think, rolling the ball. Now, of course, it won't be a soft roll, but just like a medium. Cue ball should catch 3 rails heading towards that side. Yeah. Look pretty confident there, right?
Beautifully struck.
Yeah.
And no, there are no extensions available during the shootout. It's a dead 30 seconds and that's it.
Yeah, I think they, kind of made a few subtle changes to the shootout after the Tucson event, the first event. And that's one good thing I like to hear from CSI, that they're not afraid to make some changes and improvements. But I believe it was a 20-second shot clock in the shootout originally, and they changed that now to a 30-second.
Yeah, it's a little bit short, isn't it? 20 seconds, I think.
You don't want the beeps to be in on somebody. If somebody has 30 seconds and they allow the beeps to get in there, that's kind of on them, right?
Yeah, we're not going to get the chance, I don't think, to talk about that great part of your podcast with on Pool Play podcast with Joey Ryan,
right?
When you said not enough players use the minute after the break, get the full minute out of that shot clock to study the table. That was a brilliant piece of advice for anyone.
Yeah, and if you don't have many problems, apply that minute to something else, to calm yourself.
Wipe the cue, have a sip of water.
Yeah, exactly.
Ready yourself.
Yeah, because usually that first shot is really the shot that sets the tone in the rack. So whether it's something you have to worry about later, but here now Jeremy Seaman needs it. Oh, sweet stroke again.
Well, the longest shootout I've seen was actually in Las Vegas. It was on an outside table. It was between Dennis Grabe from Estonia and Chang Junlin. 16-15 it went to.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Of course, there was no shot clock on the outside table, so it
still, excuse me,
but still, yeah, to make that.
Yeah, well, just consider they had to shoot 12 of them from a diamond back. So,
isn't that a snake?
What's that?
That's a snake, isn't it? A diamond back?
Oh, a diamond. Yeah, it is. It sure is.
Shooting off a snake. Maybe that's something for the next.
That's an American
idea.
snake. U.S. soil. Now, again, he does not slow roll them.
Oh.
And that's the thing. When you miss it at that speed, to a lot of us players, it almost seems like a
swipe.
Well, just a bad way to shoot the shot. Yeah. Just not a high percentage way to shoot the shot. It's not Mach 5, but it's going when Jeffrey shoots it. You'll see the pace. It won't be so much of a bam bam kind of thing when Jeremy Seaman shoots it.
Well, chance now, advantage Jeremy if he can.
Well, the way I look at it, besides the setup, Mark, is hey, I imagine myself, this is where I left myself on the money ball, and how would I shoot the money ball right here in a regular game? That's the stroke I want to put on it. And that's how I'm going to shoot the money ball in the regular game.
Give it every chance of going in.
Yeah. Well, it's nothing different is another thing that I'm doing. Like, to me, I don't really feel Jeffrey would shoot that from behind the line that hard if that was the 10 ball in a game situation. He would smooth it a little bit more, and I think that's what applies here as well in the shootout.
So, and there you'll just notice John Lehman every single time placing the 10 ball exactly the same, with the white side up, stripe parallel with the bed of the table. So you've got a whole blue.
Well, essentially sudden death for his tournament life now for Jeffrey. He's got to make this and then get a little help from Jeremy.
Well, he's still going with the power.
Yeah. And that's, you know, surprising, to be honest with you, because, you know, not the huge Filipino contingent like we normally have at these events. You know, there's 3 or 4 or 5 guys here, but they discuss a lot of things. And that's one thing that I'm, you know, surprised maybe they haven't discussed with Jeffrey or amongst themselves is, what do you think the best way to shoot this ball is?
I think he shoots it harder than anyone else. I don't think I've seen anyone
I don't think it's even close.
No.
Yeah. Jeremy SEAMAN seemed to shoot it a little firm from one side, I thought.
I like the way Mika Immonen was playing it. He never missed. He made 6 in a row last night.
Yeah. Oh, my. And that was to end the match, and he knew it. Yeah.
It was match ball. Can you believe it? Very, very quickly. Interesting story from last night at Mika Immonen shootout. Both players went for a bathroom break. Mika picked up his bottle of water, took a sip of it. As he was walking past the table, placed it in the corner pocket of where the 10 ball would be shot into. They both went to the bathroom, came back, forgot to remove the water bottle from the pocket.
Jeremy SEAMAN.
Sosa.
It was Sosa. Yeah, you're right. Sosa
played it into the pocket with the water bottle still in there. Very calmly said, "Oh, your water bottle's still in the pocket."
After he made it, right?
After he made it. I think it might have been a little bit different had it have popped out.
Yeah, that's what I would have worried about, the ball just popping out after. Now here, Top English, he'll still warp it a little bit, I bet, but I think he gets a little cleaner. Doesn't try to kill it. Yeah, see, that tempo is much better in my mind.
Smoother, not so aggressive.
Well, and just think about
More
something
control.
that's repeatable. That's repeatable, right, Mark?
Yeah, that's a very good tip, actually. Do something that you can do
over and over
with monotonous regularity.
Right. Well, this is again seeing what you're made of now. The pressure again all on Jeremy.
Yeah, and on your screens that may not look that difficult, but looking at that, the
Super
10
difficult.
isn't actually on the spot. As you can see, it's spotted where it's spotted in the rack, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, the shot's tough. The scenario's even tougher. And Jeffrey DeLuna is going to advance. They both played great. Jeremy SEAMAN, another great tournament. I know that's not how he wanted to go, but we'll be back at 5 o'clock. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah. Now get to cleaning some balls.